I wasn't even out of my jacket when my dad said it. Didn't know they let dropouts in here. A few relatives laughed, those polite, nervous laughs people give when they're not sure if it's safe to stay silent. I just nodded, hung my coat, and took the seat at the back. Same chair, same corner, same role. Invisible. They thought I'd stayed that way. Dinner was loud, the kind of forced laughter that fills the cracks in people's lives. My father's voice led every story. My sister's husband, Brian, threw in comments that made him sound smarter than he was. He always did. The table was his stage. But I wasn't there to compete, not tonight. I was there to finish something. It hadn't always been this way. Once I wanted his approval, the kind only a father can give but never does. I studied computer engineering because he told me it was the future. When I dropped out after my second year, he called it proof of laziness. He didn't know the truth. I didn't drop out because I couldn't handle the work. I dropped out because I'd already built something better. A small tech startup. 3 of us in a basement apartment. We coded 12 hours a day and slept in shifts. It wasn't glamorous, but it was alive. We built tools that made corporate data management faster, cheaper, and private. The kind of thing companies love and governments pretend not to notice. But my father never saw that. To him, I was the failure who quit. 2 years later, when Brian joined a mid-level management job at a logistics firm, he didn't even recognize my company's name when it showed up in his system. They were one of our early clients. He just used the software, never read the contracts. He didn't notice when we were bought out, or that I stayed on as CEO after the acquisition. He didn't notice that every report he sent went through servers with my signature buried in the code. No one in that room did. So when he leaned forward that night and asked, "So, where do you work now?" I gave him the name. He blinked. Wait. He tilted his head, squinting like I was speaking another language. "You mean you work there?" "I run it," I said quietly. He laughed, that dry, dismissive kind of laugh men give when they're unsure but want to stay in control. "Come on, seriously," my father cut in. "Don't humor him. He's been running companies since he left school. Next week it'll be a podcast." But Brian wasn't laughing anymore. He was pale. His hand went for his phone. I knew what he was doing. He was looking up the company. And then he saw the board photo. My face. My name. My title. His hand froze halfway down the screen. The silence spread like smoke. He tried to recover. "That's impressive," he said, voice cracking slightly. "Didn't realize you were, still involved." I smiled. "Oh, I'm very involved, especially in partnerships." His wife, my sister, looked between us. "Wait, Brian, isn't your company partnered with his?" That's when it happened. That half second of eye contact where the truth hits and both people know exactly what it means. I saw the sweat on his forehead. He knew what I'd done. Because 2 weeks ago, I'd quietly terminated his department's data contract. A routine audit, I'd called it. His manager received the findings yesterday. Breach of compliance, unauthorized access logs, multiple term violations, all real, all traceable, and all tied to his credentials. I'd discovered it months ago, his little side deal, selling anonymized data to third-party brokers, using our system to scrub it clean. Clever, but not clever enough. I could have exposed him then, but I didn't. I waited. Let the logs build. Let the pattern repeat. Let him bury himself. And then, when I knew he'd crossed the line past recovery, I pulled every record and sent them straight to his compliance officer. By Monday morning, he'd be out. Maybe blacklisted, maybe worse. But that wasn't the real revenge. The real revenge was this moment. Watching him realize I'd been one step ahead the entire time. That the dropout had been signing his paychecks. That the family's embarrassment had built the system that destroyed his career. My father cleared his throat. "So, your company, what exactly do you do again?" I met his eyes. Calm, controlled. "Security," I said. "We find breaches and remove them." No one spoke after that. Even the air seemed careful not to move. I excused myself before dessert. Didn't need applause, didn't need validation. I'd already had my closure the moment silence fell across that table. When I stepped outside, the cold air hit me. Sharp, clean, unfiltered. I'd spent years trying to prove myself to people who never cared to look past their own reflections. Now they'd have to. They'd have to look at me differently, not because I demanded it, but because I earned it. And the best part? I didn't raise my voice once. I just told the truth and let it do the rest.